Hello, I'm Debbie Burnett
And I'm Melissa Sakonic.
with the Savannah Chatham School System. Our presentation today is on proven methods on building capacity with your staff.
Our presentation objectives today are to provide an overview of Godot family school expectations related to building capacity of staff and to provide specific examples of how one district structured family engagement training to build staff capacity. There's a little overview about Savannah Chatham County Public School System. We are located in coastal Georgia. We are the 10th largest district in the state of Georgia. We have about 5,600 employees, a little over 38,000 students in grades K-12. We have 56 educational facilities, 23 elementary and K-8, 8 middle schools, 11 high schools. We have 5 charter schools and 9 other educational centers. 33 public and 8 private schools are designated as Title I. This presentation and all strategies are included are based on federal requirements of family engagement as listed in section 1116 and 1112. We use the cross-functional monitoring tool when deciding what to do for family engagement capacity building. Above you can see is 8.6, your district's office monitoring checklist for Godot. We need at least 2 documents per semester. Recommended primary method of an in-person or online faculty meeting, and then 2 continuous communications with faculty. Title I schools implementing academic parent-teacher teams, APTT, and show documentation of implementing APTT with fidelity will have met the requirements of building school staff capacity. Godot Family School Partnership Program website has a checklist available. In Savannah Chatham, we have adopted the checklist for our purposes to keep it at one-page format, front and back, for ease of handling. We make sure during the year as a district that each item on the checklist is addressed by schools. Our schools are open to do more staff capacity building, but the district rolls out training that is mandatory each marking period. Primary and secondary methods are scheduled based on times we feel staff are most receptive to face-to-face training. Typically, the first 9 weeks and the third 9 weeks we do online training since staff are busy at the beginning of the year getting the school year started, and then the third 9 weeks staff is busy with testing. Secondary methods of building staff capacity and family engagement as documented via online email addresses as signatures or sign-in sheets stating items were reviewed. Finally, as part of the checklist, a school Title I contact, typically the family engagement staff, and Title I program manager responsible for the school sign that training was completed and documentation is attached. In addition to the checklist, there are even more resources available on the Godot Family School Partnership website. As with most things, building staff capacity and family engagement has been an evolutionary process in Savannah Chatham. The more we have learned, the more we have grown with our program. What we are going to be sharing took several years to roll out to our staff.
All of our trainings and strategies that we use are rooted in the structures embedded in family and community engagement section of the continuous improvement framework, as you can see on the screen. We are constantly checking ourselves to ensure that information conveyed to schools supports federal requirements, cross-functional monitoring requirements, and the structures listed on this slide. build a firm foundation among key family engagement staff from each school. At the district level, we conducted a book study with Dr. Karen Mapp, who you see on your screen, and her book, Beyond the Bake Sale. We felt as a team everyone needed to be on the same page. Up until this point, each school was coming up with their own training and struggling to meet expectations. This book study brought misconceptions to light, reinforced positive practices that were happening, and got everyone speaking the same language. When we had monthly professional development training with our school-based family engagement staff, it was with an eye on them taking the information back to their school to build capacity at each Title I school site. What you see here is a sheet we used based on Beyond the Bake Sale, where staff examined their personal views on family engagement. This training was conducted either as a whole staff, and this included nutrition, custodial, office, and other site-based staff, or in small groups during PLCs. It resulted in a rich conversation on what families and staff think and value in family engagement. Extending this activity, school family engagement staff in a workshop at the district level discussed their perceptions of what families want from schools based on their own history and interaction with their families. This was something they also, by extension, took back and did with their site-based staff to build capacity. Instead of just plain posters, we had figures pre-printed on these posters just to add a little bit of variety, and then again push these out to the site-based trainings. Many of you are probably already familiar with the dual capacity building framework introduced by US Ed a few years ago based on Karen Mapp's work. What you see on the screen is the new version that was just launched in July 2019. At the time we originally rolled out this framework, we had a poster printed for each school. It was either positioned in the staff lounge or by the time clock. It needed to be visible to all staff. This became the basis of all trainings for that school year. At the time, we began this training based on the former dual capacity framework, which had a partnership with Scholastic and had videos available online for free. Well, a few months into our training, as luck would have it, the videos went away for free and were charged, which meant that we had to go back and find online videos that would fit in with our pre-existing training, add those little snippets to move forward for free with our trainings. As part of that training based on the dual capacity framework that was offered at each school, we developed an online component. As Missy said earlier, we throughout the year will have online training and then face-to-face to mix things up for the staff and also make this work with their schedule. Here is an example where you'll see there's a link to a website with questions that were posed to participants. The framework originally had 4 sections, which we used each marking period as a jumping off point with a video for training. Again, this is based on the original framework. We are looking forward to implementing the new framework this school year. A second year, we used partnership videos as a basis for building staff capacity in the area of family engagement. This video is available on the Godot Family School Partnership website. Here you can click on the school, which is pictured, either elementary or secondary, take a tour of the various areas of the school virtually that families might be involved with, such as the front office, grounds, lunchroom, media center, classrooms. We ask each member at every Title I school to do a pre-survey so that they would have a point of reference on what their thoughts already were on what composed a family-friendly school. Then they went online and took a virtual tour of either the elementary or secondary school. You'll notice that a virtual staff member pops up on the screen. You can see it here on our screen that will tell you about the area of the school that you're touring. This allows your school staff to get personalized information based on the area of the school that they spend the majority of their time. This also allowed our staff to do this training at their own time and their own pace. After they had completed the virtual module, they went back and took a post-survey as a comparison, and then as a staff came back together, either whole staff or PLC, and discussed how their views might have changed and what they learned from this exercise. Continuing using this Georgia virtual family-friendly school training, schools were also asked to move on from looking at how they viewed themselves being family-friendly as a teacher, as a custodial worker, whatever their role was, to looking at how their school overall was family-friendly. Again, they took a pre-assessment on their school's level of family friendliness. Then staff in groups, either faculty meeting or PLCs, again, reviewed the various scenarios that discussed families and their encounters either at elementary or secondary. These scenarios are all provided for you, so are all of the checklists. The school figured out how the situation could be addressed at their school if it happened. And then these were related back to their pre-assessments and conclusions were drawn by the staff. As we've been evolving as a school system related to building staff capacity, we've tried to respond to feedback from schools. The first marking period, schools asked that they were busy, that they had a number of things going on, and if we could please find a simple way to convey information. We took the Fed Talks that were already being produced by federal programs. There's one in particular that featured Amy Song discussing the importance of family engagement and the use of school parent compacts. We thought this was important for staff to understand at the beginning of the year. This laid the foundation of why we do what we do in Title I schools related to family engagement, and it also provided depth in the process from the point of view of federal programs, Godot, our school system, the school, and how that all links together to support families. As Missy mentioned earlier, we have developed some of our own checklists. On the left side of the screen is a checklist that we use whenever we ask our staff to train their building level staff that has to be completed with documentation. On the top of our checklist, we always put the elements of building staff capacity so that we know those requirements have been met. On this particular checklist, we were looking at building the ties between parents, school, and the value and utility of contributions of parents, focusing on this training. On the right side of the screen, you see a verification form where staff members at the school site would have went in and signed off that they indeed did complete the online training. Another strategy you might use with building staff capacity is a jigsaw of articles. This was a face-to-face training we asked our schools to have. Of course, first we modeled and worked with the family engagement personnel from each school sites to ensure that we could have consistency with the redelivery across the district. With this activity, staff are grouped according to a colored sticker that is given when they walk into the room because we want to reduce having cliques, people sitting together that know each other, to cut down on discussion that's off topic, and to keep everybody focused on family engagement. Each group is given a unique article related to building family engagement at their school site. They then read the assignment, circle words that have a strong impact on them from the articles, highlight word or phrases that they might want more information about, and then share out as a whole group. Of all the activities we did this particular year, This was one of the activities that we got the strongest positive response from every school site. Our teachers loved talking about family engagement with each other. The third marking period was an online Google training where staff were asked to watch several short videos, one by Karen Mapp and another as a TED Talk, and respond to questions. Email addresses were recorded to the document of those who participated from each school. Here's a look at what that form was like. This is an example of the Google form that we use to collect responses from site-based participants. You can see where they add their email address, they watch the embedded videos, and then further down the screen are questions that they would respond to. To support our district level training that we had the fourth marking period, we understood that some of our site-based staff were not as comfortable with training adults as we would have liked them to have been. Better support our school family engagement staff, we brought them together, we modeled what the meetings with their school staff should look like. We created a video for them where they could go back to their school and watch that video before they redelivered instruction. For this fourth marking period training, staff were looking at their school site-based family engagement policy and their school parent grade level or content area compacts. They were using what they knew of how effective the compacts were during the school year. They were pulling in feedback families had given at our annual family forums, and also they were looking at an evaluation survey that families had completed to guide them through this process. This is an example of the video that we created, put on YouTube for our staff to use to make them more comfortable with training teachers at their school sites. We followed this by making sure that all documents and all information that we use as a district, including videos, forms, and any other information, is in LiveBinder, which is our repository for all things related to Title I. Here on the screen, you can see a picture of our LiveBinder. This year, we're looking at using Powerful Partnerships, a book that was created again by Karen Mapp, to guide our staff development and building family and community engagement. Our school staff will be completing a book study on Powerful Partnerships and then going back and working with their individual school staff. This book is just chock full of ideas and videos that can be folded into your family engagement capacity building. Thank you for allowing us to share how Savannah Chatham Schools has strived to build staff capacity. Our contact information is here on the slide. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us with any questions or ideas on how we might improve what we do here in Savannah Chatham with family engagement. Thank you for joining us. I'm Debbie Burnett.
And I'm Melissa Sakonic.
Bye.